All right. Enough yawning, Dominic.
Yeah,
It's,
time to take a nap, huh?
it's not a good time to sleep because we're live.
Cheers.
All right.
It's gonna be a cup of tea for you.
How you been?
I've been great, man. I'm doing really well. I'm celebrating life because life is really good.
Yeah.
Really rich and good right now.
Celebrating life. That's the way to move forward. So today we decided we're going to talk about this big subject.
Oh yeah, it's a big topic. It's called the hero's journey, and this is something that everybody goes on. You know, whether you are aware of it or not. It's kind of like a cycle. It's kind of like a pattern of life and progression that we're going to explore today. We're doing some exploration.
Sounds good. Let's just begin with saying that that is the purpose of life.
Yes.
Is it accurate to say that?
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay.
It's to go on the hero's journey.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, and if it is the purpose of life, which means that following that journey, we experience our fulfillment and bliss.
Totally. That's where it leads.
Okay. So we got two things. And the third thing, I think, is it accurate to say that by following your journey, by following your bliss, it's not about the destination, but it's about the process?
Totally. That's absolutely accurate. And that's another thing because we're never going to get there, so to speak. Where life does not end.
Okay.
You know, we're going to go through thousands of heroes' journeys in our life. But overall, this path, which is the path forward, that's the only way to get to that bliss and fulfillment.
So I believe Helen Keller said, we just find out.
We just looked it up. It was fun.
So Helen Keller said that life is either daring adventure or nothing at all. What do you think about that?
Well, it's true because you do have the choice. You do have the choice whether or not to make it an adventure or to stay pretending that you're not playing the hero's journey.
Right.
You know,
What happens if you do that?
If you stay put, you're gonna feel a lot of suffering.
Okay.
You're
Bango.
Yeah, you're gonna suffer.
Yeah.
It's gonna suck.
Okay, so for people listening here, this is a big subject. It's something that we may not talk about it a lot, but we're talking about the solution to suffering.
Yes, this is one model that we can use to help us understand our own suffering, and also to keep us on the path towards bliss, towards success, towards basically anything that we want in life, but more so just consistent in our growth, you know, because there are a lot of ways that we can feel stuck in life.
Right.
There are a lot of times that we can face shadows.
Right.
But when we follow the hero's path, when we follow the path of the hero's journey, we always wind up, first of all, when we follow the hero's journey, we're framing life in an affirmative way.
Right.
When we realize that it's not us against our problems necessarily, it's us on a path of ascension. You know.
Right. So also, given all that information that we just discussed, would you say that it's accurate to say that if you're not happy, you must be not on your hero's journey?
Right. Well, you're in one of the phases of the hero's journey, and you're deliberating probably, or you're unaware. You're unaware.
Yeah.
You know, you're not sure what's going to happen next.
Okay. But then also it's not to say that you don't have the challenges on the hero's journey. There's a lot of challenges and a lot of emotional experiences that we experience that may not be pleasant, but they're very different from the pain and suffering we experience when we're not even participating in it.
Yeah. Yeah, well really it's kind of like, you know, if you clean your kitchen every week, it's still going to get dirty. But if you only clean your kitchen once a year, it's going to be filthy. Right? So I think it's the difference between consistency on your path that makes a huge difference, because 90% of the time, if you clean your kitchen every week or whenever you clean it, you're going to have 90% clean kitchen. But if you only clean it every year, or whenever you finally get around to it, you're going to be suffering. You're going to be all this filth and distraction.
And how many people are out there are following some sort of a machine, some sort of industrial complex, rather than their own journey that is specialized for them. And so we have this dynamic where a lot of people are unhappy and they're put into this situation where they have to do something that they don't enjoy.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's also being sold to us that is normality, that is okay. That if you don't enjoy this, there's some neurotransmitter disbalance in your brain, and we're gonna fix you with the pills.
Right. Yeah, and I feel like most of us at one time or another, we find ourselves in some kind of machine like that. Yeah. And I think the trick is to connect to your hero's journey, to connect to your purpose, your why, your soul's calling towards something, and understanding what you really want out of life and what you really enjoy. Mm-hmm. And then once you're in the machine, but you can find a path out, because that process of connecting to that and keeping that as your priority, your main, where you're pouring your energy, that's going to slowly ease you out of this game.
Mm-hmm. How do we exit this machine?
That's a good question. I think that there are many ways to exit the machine, and that ultimately it becomes a game of, okay, so one way is meditation. Okay. One method, let's say, of beginning to exit the machine is the path of self-knowledge.
Great advice.
Yeah. So if you start with meditation or anything that helps you know yourself, whether it's journaling, but you build that space for yourself to get clear on the vision and to get clear and tapped into the energy of who you really are and why you really came here, that's going to begin to shift the way you interact with the machine. And gradually over time, you're going to see little cracks in the machine where you can act, you can take different steps to build more of your own, whether you want to build your own business or whether you want to just totally get off the grid, whatever your calling is to do, you're going to see the opportunities because you're focused on what you want instead of coming home every night from this job that you don't like and then distracting yourself.
Okay, so what do you have to say for somebody, let's say, who works at this type of position and they don't like it and they don't enjoy it and they don't see it as their life purpose? But perhaps they intuitively know what's their true purpose, and perhaps they're telling themselves that, there's no way I can be an actor. There's no way I can be, this or that. Like, what kind of advice do you have for a person who intuitively knows what they would be great at, but there's that fear holding them back and keeping them in that machine?
Totally. Well, the important part of that is to take the first step, whatever it is, because that the reason you're living is because you have that passion. The reason you're going to work is that so that you can get up and keep dreaming about that thing that you want to create. And it's okay, because this job that you don't like is a step on that path towards whatever it is that will really fulfill you. So investing in that, in the small ways first, when you have the time and energy, because we all have free time, we all have free energy. Even when we're really, really booked, we can find a little space. We can get up a little earlier. We can stay up a little later just to work on that passion. And
you recommend to use that time for meditation. For any time you have, any spare time we have, and no matter how busy we are, the first step is to use that time, that little spare time, whether it's 10, 15 minutes, for meditation.
Sure, at the start, and build a consistent meditation practice. Absolutely. Everybody can hugely benefit from that. And once you have a consistent meditation practice, once you have that motivation that you've been able to work through your beliefs a little bit more, and you understand it's actually possible if you do want to be an actor, if you do want to, whatever else that it is you want to do. Once you have that vision clear, then you can begin practicing that vision in your life already. Okay. I think this is something people get caught up in, is they think they don't have the time, or they think they're going to do it in 3 months, but 3 months is always... 3 months never comes. You have to take little steps that'll make that 1 hour turn into a 2 hour, turn to a 3 hour.
Micro progressions.
Yes, micro progressions.
Yeah. And then during that time, when we meditate, there's a lot of insights that come along.
Oh, yeah.
And also, we dare to dream.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is a great window. I mean, the first step is to meditate a little bit and make it as a regular practice,
Yeah.
and then dare to dream.
Yeah.
Like literally have daydreams about the success that you want to have, right?
This is huge. There's a lot to unpack here. So a lot of people don't want to start meditating because it might just suck at first.
Right.
You know, we have to accept that don't have expectations.
Why does it suck?
Well, it sucks because you have to take charge of your mental habits at first.
Mm-hmm.
You have to realize, okay, I'm thinking about my groceries. I'm thinking about this person that broke my heart. I'm thinking about all these different things.
Mm-hmm.
And these are just emotional charges that have built up, and they're running your life.
Mm-hmm.
They're on autopilot. And once you take that courageous step to just sit and watch all these things unfold, you're going to start interrupting the programming
Mm-hmm.
with consciousness. With the light of your awareness, you're intercepting this feedback loop that happens on all these different levels, all these different habits
Mm-hmm.
of energy that are moving through you.